The GCRX Radio Network presents Your Favorite Guy Podcast, Season 2.
Hello, y'all. It is I, Brian with the Y, your favorite guy, and this is Your Favorite Guy Podcast. All right. How have you guys been? I know it's been a couple of weeks. My silly self got myself a little bit of a migraine, and even these lights here were very all in my face and very difficult to look at. So I definitely needed just some time to not look at lights with a cold compress. Anybody who's ever had a migraine, you know what's up. In any case, welcome back to our show. Because okay, so this weekend, and we'll get into this a little bit more, this weekend marked a very, very important anniversary for a lot of things. Yesterday, 38 years ago yesterday, it was a Saturday, 8 p.m. and oh my gosh, what was the name of the episode?
The first episode?
The first episode.
Encounter at
Farpoint. There we go. I should know this because I grew up on Captain Picard, right? And it's funny that I grew up on Captain Picard, considering that, let's turn all of these off. How about that? It's funny that I grew up on Captain Picard, considering that I had difficulty kind of remembering all of that. This outfit
Keep going.
Oh, okay. It's one of the newest Star Treks that came out. They just did their 5-year run and they're out. The comm badge is from Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and the pips are like everything. So it was cool. I went to a Renaissance fair this weekend. I dressed up in Starfleet gear. It was a lot of fun. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. This is a little restrictive, so I'm going to take it off. Oh my gosh. And you'll notice I'm still wearing a red shirt with a Next Generation pin. Thank you, Bill.
Everybody seems to think you're going to die.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that too, because I ain't no ordinary red shirt.
Because you had to stop and explain it to everybody.
To every single person. And they were like, but what about the Prime Directive? It's the temporal directive. And the fact that you're having this conversation, the fact that I haven't phased out of existence means that I'm fine. Obviously I didn't screw anything up so bad. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, technically you're violating both. You violated the temporal Prime Directive because you probably shouldn't have been going back in the first place. And you're violating the Prime Directive because you're talking to the natives in full-on uniform.
Yeah, well, as if that wasn't good enough, bad enough, whatever. It also came with a tricorder, Next Generation tricorder. Yeah, it wasn't just me. It was me and Bill.
Yeah,
he was my ensign. I was a commander. It was his idea. I thought we should both go as lieutenants, but
somebody's got to be in charge.
And he blamed me for everything.
I did.
I just showed up here, is what he said.
Listen,
it's on him. Orders. So of course, everyone who was dressed in Ren Fair, medieval times, everything was like, I mean, even Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yep.
Hey.
And I'm like, hey, Commander, he outranks you. He's a captain.
Ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was so much fun though. Out in Wentzville. All right.
We're nerds.
Yes, nerds. But and I'm a little upset because I forgot 1701, NCC 1701, my starship.
Yeah. You were gonna bring it?
I was gonna bring it and just let it sit right here. It lights up. The other one that I brought to the show originally, I was cleaning off my desk and I was like, okay, cool. And it fell on the ground and I stepped back and I heard crunch. And I'm like, oh God. Oh no. And that was it. So the one that lights up and plays the Star Trek theme, toast. It's done. There's nothing I can do with it.
No, you should get some super glue and you should put it back together. And what you need to do is like put battle damage all over it.
And then it could be like after coming out of, which movie was that? The second Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah,
Well, I mean, it never would have made it. The one at the end of Wrath of Khan got destroyed, but like the battle damage when he was fighting with Khan, you like have that, and
that would be cool.
Sure.
You know what kind of tea I'm drinking today?
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey, hot.
I bet Earl Grey cold is nasty.
Earl Grey cold is not terrible,
but
it does require something sweet, some honey or whatever. A couple of birthdays today. I kid you not. This was so much fun. So Keith Santos, he was like one of the teachers at my high school. Keith, hello, happy birthday. I'm gonna shout out Nellie Klein. Today's her birthday. We went to school together. God, Nellie Klein and we go back almost 30 years. I think we met in like 1996, and the fact that we don't communicate very often, but the fact that we do communicate is like, oh, hey, yeah, I'll text you after the show, but I'm shouting you out here. I'll send you a link. Let me see any other birthdays, notable birthdays. Milan Carter. I don't know where I know Milan Carter from, but apparently I know him. It's like, okay. And then Greg Gunn. Happy birthday, Greg. You're probably not watching the show. He's a professional acquaintance. I don't even think he knows my name. I'll be honest. It's like,
with all the people that why don't you better know some Star Trek characters or actors? That would be epic if you did.
If I could get Armin Shimmerman.
Oh, no, that'd be perfect.
I would love to talk to Armin Shimmerman. Guys, post this. # Armin Shimmerman. Just go for it. Okay. We're going to try to get him on the show. Like, it'd be great if he could zoom in, and not even like in full Ferengi gear. I've actually, I remember the other show that he was in the 90s. Do you remember he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Mm-hmm.
He was the principal, and it did not go well for him because during the ascendancy, dude got eaten. Just, I was like, it's terrible.
I got to look up something now because I think he was in something else as well.
Oh, he's done a lot of stuff. He's more than just Quark. In any case, I want to launch in super quick. We're going to talk about term insurance today. And, I'll be honest with you. We got to upload the Universal Life episode. It'll be like a 3.5 or something like that. I don't know. It's literally just going to be that part of it. But I know life insurance is not very sexy. It is not. Like, when it comes to finance, we want to talk about the investing. We want to talk about the like debt avalanche or debt snowball. We want to talk about those things. And those things are really, really great. The mundane thing of renting a pot of money to make sure that in the event that you were to die, your untimely demise, it's not a very sexy thing to talk about. It's not a very popular thing to talk about. You're talking about your own mortality here. Typically, when people are looking for life insurance, they're talking about getting a lot of coverage. They're not talking about using life insurance as an investment vehicle. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of insurance agents just really trying to push the product of like index universal life before it was variable universal life, and before that was universal life. And I've seen them really try to push that as a means to making, you could save so much money. You wouldn't save money on a life insurance policy. Like, you're not banking your retirement on your checking account, right? So you wouldn't bank your retirement or purchasing a home or sending your kids to college on a life insurance policy, would you? Right. So you wouldn't. So that brings us to temporary insurance, term insurance. And let's get that first one up there. Temporary insurance, term insurance. Let's talk a month, because next week, a couple of days from now, we start October. And October is, did you know there's a National Book Month?
No.
Next month is National Book Month.
I think there's a national month or day for everything, though.
At this point, yes.
Like National I ate a whole wheel of cheese month. That should be a thing.
And with that, a national I ate an entire pig, like ham, bacon. Like it's probably not very good for you.
Along with the wheel of cheese?
Along with the wheel of cheese, you'd probably become violently ill.
Did you also national I took a bunch of laxatives because I can't poop anymore?
That would be the day after.
Yeah.
It would have to be maybe the same day.
It would have to be.
I don't know. But next month is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month and apparently Disability Employment Month, Awareness Month. And I was like, wow, that's a whole lot of a lot. So we're going to talk some books next month. Got a couple more authors coming on. We're going to talk to some book club members. It's going to be a lot of fun. But right now, we are talking about term insurance. So let's talk term insurance. How does it work? It's really simple. Term insurance is you renting a pot of money. You can go to the next slide. You're renting a pot of money, and that pot of money is used at your demise. That's really all it is.
Does it belong to a leprechaun?
I guess.
Is it at the end of a rainbow?
Ooh, you know what? If you were playing Mario Kart and you drove off the Rainbow Bridge, yeah,
you would need some term insurance.
You would need some term insurance.
Okay.
To get more bang for your buck.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it says today we are going to take a look at term insurances. And yes, there are more than one term insurances. Do a deep dive into term. The thing about term is there's not a whole lot to talk about because it's so plain. It's so vanilla. It's as vanilla as the ice cream that we had this weekend. Like that was so creamy. We're going to talk about that a little bit later.
That's the best ice cream ever. Like
they're going to sponsor this show. Ices. Oh yeah. Oof. All right. So last week, this was because I wrote this all in line. Last week we spoke about universal life, variable life. Okay, great. Now we're going to talk about term insurance. By the end of this, I'd like to educate you on the insurance, on the ins and outs of term. This, of course, would be for you to choose what you'd like. And I have to come back to this disclaimer. This information is for educational purposes only. Even though I am a licensed agent, you should talk to a licensed agent. This is not legal advice. If you would like more information, please feel free to contact the show, yfgpodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach us in the comments in YouTube or on the Facebook comments as well.
You can send smoke signals. Carrier pigeon works.
That works too. Yeah. If you have my phone number, like legit my cell phone number, feel free to give me a call.
You can send Brian a fax.
Bro, I wouldn't even know how to. All right, let's talk about term insurance. The things we're going to cover today, real quick. When it started, the fact that there is no cash value savings, it is straight death benefit / face amount. The premiums are lower than cash value life insurance or any other type of insurance. There are different types. Story that we're going to tell. I had to look this up. Like, what was the first life insurance policy? Like the first life insurance policy we talked about a couple weeks ago, cash value came out in like the 40s and got real popular in the 1970s. And that was a big time for that. That's when the industry kind of changed. But the very first life insurance policy was June 18th. And I pulled this right off the web. Okay. June 18th, 1583 in London, England, to a man named William Gibbons. He paid, what was it that he paid? He paid £30 and the insurance policy was for £400. And if you think about, it was the 1500s, it was 1583. That was 500 years ago almost. I couldn't, what is that? Are you doing the calculation right now? Okay, cool. You assume a 4% return or whatever. You figure every 18 to 24 years, the money would double. But yeah, it was a very simple term insurance policy. The policy was for term life insurance. 13 merchants agreed to pay a sum if Gibbons died within a year. I heard a little Caveat on the side of that.
It's online calculator it's like 1583. What?
1583, yeah.
Nope.
How many doubling periods is that? I don't know.
A lot.
But yeah, so my understanding of this is he died within a year, a calendar year. But the way that they expressed it was there are 4 weeks, like he died in, I want to say maybe like the 50th or 51st week of the year. The insurance company said, well, there are 12 months in a year and 4 weeks in a month. So technically at the 48th month, like we don't owe him anything. And that was very much thrown out by the courts. They're like, look, a year is a year, man. It's 52 weeks.
So I couldn't get a regular inflation calculator to work with 1583, but I did do American currency, $400 from 1635 to 2025. And $400 in 1635 is the equivalent of $15,613 today.
Okay. I'll take it.
I mean, you're probably living pretty rich back then on $400.
Yeah, look, $400, 400 pounds, man. Back then, whew. And that's just from the 1600s, right?
1635. Yeah. I mean, you got to think back then, like they had half pennies too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you give a kid a penny back then and how much candy could they buy?
Yeah, they're
a lot.
You ever seen the movie Euro Trip?
Mm-hmm.
A whole nickel. I buy my own hotel. And he slaps his boss. It's like, wow. Okay. All right. So 400 pounds is what it was set up for. He died. He paid 30 pounds for it. It's an aleatory contract. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. There's somebody's going to get more out of it than the other party. He paid 30 pounds. His beneficiaries got 400 pounds. If he had lived the entire year, he would have paid the 30 pounds. They would have nothing in return. It's off in one way or the other. But yeah, it continues. And it says this policy marked a shift from early insurance concepts from ancient Greece or Rome. So life insurance has been around for a long time, like a long time. It's only recently that it's really taken off. And it's all been term up until that point. Now, looking at the next one, it's straight face amount or death benefit. Because there is no cash value, this causes coverage to be significantly less. In the event that you had $100,000 worth of term insurance and you died, your family got $100,000. Like that's just where it is. There are no surrender charges. There's no, oh, we got to take out feet. No, there's nothing. You had 100, you got 100. That's where you are. Different types of term insurance is literally 2 types. Well, there are 3, but one has kind of phased out altogether. You have annual renewable term, which is what a lot of the universal life insurance policies are kind of built on. And then you have level term, and these level terms are different levels. You've got a 5-year level term where the premium stays the same for 5 years, 10-year level term, 20-year level term, 25, 30. Some places there's a 40-year level term. Those are probably pretty good. Just in case. It's like auto insurance, right? Next one. I guess I didn't fix that one. Anyway, breakdown of term life. Money. So the opportunity for a more robust financial plan. Buy term and invest the difference. So buy term and invest the difference because cash value life insurance is usually significantly more expensive. It's usually about 3 times more expensive. When you get around to getting a term insurance, whatever the difference between your cash value life insurance policy and your term policy, you would take that and you would invest it. That's the idea. If all you got was a term insurance policy and you got no coverage in terms of investments, you're worse off because you've got to have something working for you. It's not a bundled product like cash value or some of the permanent insurances like universal, but it is a financial plan. And because you have more to invest and you know exactly what is going to be invested, you have a better chance to have a more robust plan. And typically, when it comes to term insurance, next slide, compensation for agents is usually about 40 to 60% of the premium. So if the premium is, let's say, $100 a month, let's just go with that. It's a simple number, whole number. $100 a month times 12 is $1,200. 40% of that is what the look at that one and then look at this one, and you'll see the slides are pretty much the same when it comes to this, but I'm going to tether it all together. This insurance policy has a face amount of $100,000, and that $100,000 is for a 30-year-old male. Great. Premium's $30 a month. The premium on the whole life was $100, and it's split between the insurance and the investments. Well, at 20 years at the 20-year mark, you've got about $70,000 and this is every single month, $70 at a 12% return over the course of 20 years. So event triggers, that's the next and last slide. The event triggers are real simple. If the client dies, the $100,000 is paid out, plus whatever was invested. And if the client lives, rule of 72 investments. Like, that's really what it is. You're saving your dollar amount every month, dollar cost averaging, which we talked about last season. You have a much stronger chance of becoming more financially with a term insurance policy plus an investment strategy, as opposed to just having a cash value, universal life, or some other type of policy. And that's it. That's it. I know it's not sexy. It's not like, ooh, hey, I want to talk the investments. Yeah, we'll get to that. We're going to cover debt next month as well. Just strategies, debt avalanche, debt stacking. We're going to cover that stuff, getting out of debt, the importance of it all, as we go through talking about books and talking about breast cancer and everything else that we're going to cover. But yeah, that's it. And as I said, I'll upload the Universal Life episode after this one. So yeah. So this past weekend, we went to a Renaissance fair.
We did.
It was me, Dee Dee, Bill, Amy. We all went out there and we had.
And Juju.
Oh yeah, Juju was there too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have pictures?
No. Well, not that I can get up there quickly.
Okay. I guess I'll upload them after the show or whatever. But yeah, it was really cool. It was warm. I appreciate that it was warm, not hot, because last year Amy just about passed out.
Uh-huh.
It was just so hot. We got a chance.
I mean, man, I was hot. Ren Fair. I love the Ren Fair. Like everything was great, but yeah, I was beat too. There's so much to see there, so much to do.
There's a
really
lot.
cool people.
Second year in a row, no turkey legs.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Great fudge.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That fudge was amazing.
Uh-huh.
I just finished my last piece like earlier today.
Uh-huh.
It was the red velvet one. Oh, it was so. And the crazy thing is, as sugary as it wasn't. It's stopped so many times to have my picture taken.
Oh.
And it was really cool because, I'm all right. Education time. We talked about Star Trek Next Generation Encounter at Farpoint episodes 1 and 2. 38 years ago yesterday. I can't tell you how many people said, "Oh man, it's unlucky for you. You're a red shirt." No. Okay, Captain Kirk, his era, red shirts never made it back. They kind of flipped the script in season 1 of Next Gen. Tasha Yar, played by Denise Crosby. What happened to her? Oh man, this is so terrible. Boom. Blasted by the black ooze, and she was head of security.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, yeah, she wasn't a red shirt. She was a gold shirt.
She needed off the show.
She wanted off the show. She wasn't entirely sure.
I'm pretty sure that she regretted that.
Because the show ran for 7 seasons, plus it had 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
They did bring her back as another role. They did bring her back as Denise Crosby. What's it called? Tasha Yar. She was the one person who slept with Data.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was brought back in Yesterday's Enterprise, and then she was brought back as Romulan.
Yeah, half Romulan, her daughter.
Uh-huh.
She played her own daughter.
Yep.
Which was kind of neat.
Think about how different that would have been. And I know for the people listening, we're getting into some deep Trekkie territory here, but if she'd stayed, do you think that they would have utilized the Worf character as much as they did?
And Michael Dorn holds the record for most episodes of Star Trek, period. He is...
Well, he's on Deep Space Nine, too.
Yeah. So he went from all the episodes, all 7 seasons of Next Generation. He then moved into Deep Space Nine for the last 3 seasons. He got all the Next Gen movies. And then he was in Picard.
I'm pretty sure that
season 3.
If Voyager had not been stuck in the Delta Quadrant, he would have made his way onto that ship.
At some point, yes.
Yep. That would have made Tuvok a little
How cool
upset.
would it be to get Michael Dorn on the show?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Captain. He's got that distinct voice.
He does. He really does.
You hear him and then you're like, oh, I know that voice.
I think for the role that he played, he's a very underappreciated actor. I don't think that, obviously the quote unquote lead characters, Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes and those, but I think that Michael Dorn is amazing at what he does. And I honestly give super big props to those folks who had to do full makeup. Don't get me wrong. Brent Spiner, has to do the whole android thing and wear contacts. I'm sure that's a pain in the butt, and the makeup sucks. But when you have to put on full on latex, and wear an obviously heavy costume, like the folks that played the Cardassians or any of those species that were completely made up with ridges and that's got to be uncomfortable. You've just got to be just uncomfortable, man.
What was the dude who played not Garrick, the other guy?
Oh, Dukat.
Gul Dukat.
Yeah.
They based the Cardassians on his physiology.
Yeah.
Because he has this really long neck. His name in the industry was the Neck.
The Neck.
So they were like, oh, let's Let's exacerbate that. Let's really play that up. So they gave the Kardashians the whole ooh. But yeah, you figure you're in the makeup trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an 18-hour day that you're probably filming for, or you're on set for, and you're spending the first 6 hours
in makeup.
And then you figure you spend probably about 8 or so hours. Does that math make sense? 6 hours, that's 14. So you spend 6 hours, you figure 6 hours in makeup, getting the makeup on. Then you take another maybe 7 or so hours, like filming, maybe 8 hours filming. And then the rest of the time is like getting the makeup off.
Well, and for perspective too, if you think about it, back then, not only are you in this heavy makeup and, a full Starfleet uniform, but you have to be careful while you're filming not to damage or disturb your makeup. Otherwise, everything has to stop.
Bring it in.
The only scenes they can film are ones where you're not in it. And most of those prosthetics that they made, they tried to reuse as much as possible.
Yes.
But on top of that, I'm not saying that actors and actresses have it easier this day, but I guess environmentally they probably do, because you're talking back in the 80s, all of the set lights were legit lights. And for those of, the heat produced by legit actual incandescent stage lights is astronomical. I mean, and the lighting, if you go back and you look at the original releases that were done in 4x3 for your home television screen in standard definition, you can't really see a lot of the things that they covered up to try to keep the lighting from shining on. They literally took pieces of black construction paper and put them over some of the panels to knock down the reflections from the stage lights that were there that they needed for that. Now you go back and look at some of the episodes in HD and you're like, is that paper over the console back? Yeah, it is, because otherwise those stage lights that they had to have would reflect. Now they've done some really cool things with masking that these days, and it's a lot harder to see those things. But they were the last series, Star Trek wise, them in Deep Space Nine, that was filmed in Panavision on actual film. And so a lot of people are like, well, why don't you have Voyager in 4K? Well, because Voyager was filmed in a digital format on a magnetic tape versus actual film. So for me to go back and pull out of the archives a Next Gen episode, I can take a high resolution scan of every frame of the entire show,
right?
Put it back together, do some CGI effects that were better than what they had back then, and make it look amazing. For Voyager, it is what it is.
Right.
They recorded it in standard definition, so your only option is to generate things that weren't there in the first place, extra pixels. So that's why it will be a very, very long time before we ever see anything like that on Voyager. And that's why it was so easy for them to re-release the original series and Next Gen and DS9. So
in a few years, I'm very much looking forward to. Is that Kyle?
Yeah.
What did he say?
I knew the Kardashians were a different species.
What up, Kyle?
Kardashians.
Love it. Yeah. I forgot my thought. I was like, is that? Yeah, we have a. There we go.
Oh, you're laughing now.
We
We just got done talking about the digitally remastered stuff.
Yeah. So looking back at Star Trek just in general, I remember I was with my sister a few months ago, and I've mentioned it before. My older brother, he's a dick. Okay, like I've said it many times.
A lot.
I hardly reference him because I'm like, we could talk negativity, but let's not. So I was talking to my sister probably last year about, maybe it was Picard had wrapped or something. I'm like, oh man, this is so great. And she goes, I have to hear this from both of you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she says, well, you talk to me about it, and that's fine. You love what you love. But Cardall also talks to me about it, and that's fine. He loves what he loves. And I'm like, wait, what? She's like, yeah. said, "Oh, I love Star Trek. Like we used to watch it at home."
Mm-hmm.
And she hits me with now, because I was very adamant about the fact that I used to watch it with mom on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. on Channel 11. You know, it was the WB back then, or whatever, before the CW. And she goes, "Now, did she put it on because she wanted to watch it, or did she put it on because Carlisle wanted to watch it and you just happened to be there?"
Oh.
I'm going to quote The Rock on this one. "It doesn't matter. I love Star Trek. That's it." And if you remember, The Rock actually was in a Star Trek Deep Space, Voyager episode. He played some alien in a
wrestler dude. Yeah.
Was it 7 of 9?
I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are a lot of actors and actresses that just wanted a role, just wanted it because they enjoyed the series. They're like, I just want to do it. I don't care, you know. I think it's funny. We owe a lot to Star Trek. There have been a lot of inventors who have. Yeah, here we go. Without being super close to the mic,
it's going to be so loud.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
Hello. Like a cell phone.
So many inventors have said, "Hey, my inspiration came from this." And one thing that I will say, no offense to any of the other sci-fi series that are out there. Yeah, we're going to be communicating wirelessly. You know, we're going to have laptops and tablets and all these really cool things
in every single office.
Right. I mean, think
on
about
the
it.
Ship.
In 1987, let's take the big ticket items out of the equation, transporters and replicators and stuff. But in 1987,
can we get replicators though?
Yeah, we need those. That would
Can we really get replicators? Like, I'm not that smart, but there's somebody out there who is.
One day, I'm sure. But so in 1987, you know, you come out and you got this big illustrious ship with all this cool technology, computers everywhere, tablets, wireless communicators. You have one on your chest where I can talk to anybody on the ship or from the ship to the planet or whatever. Instantaneous communications, just that weren't obtrusive. You know, you think about walking into somebody's quarters, and it's something as simple as, and we take it for granted today, but you walk in and you say lights, and the lights come on. You know, how is that any different than, you know, dropping the A word or the G word and asking it to turn my lights on or my fan on?
I kind of want to do it.
You know,
I kind of want to do it.
Don't be mean to the people that are watching. But, you know, we take that stuff for granted, or, you know, adjusting, like it's not been that long ago that we got wireless adjustable thermostats.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it from your phone, or initially it was from your phone or from an app or whatever. And now it's integrated with your home assistant. But like literally those, just the environmental factors of any room on a Starfleet vessel is now a reality.
Every once in a while, I will walk into somebody's home that has one of those little A devices, and I will say, change the wake word to computer. And I can't tell you how upset they get, because they're like, it's broken.
Because you're a jerk.
I did it right in front of you and Amy, and she was so mad. She was like, why isn't it responding?
I am waiting for a little more intelligence from those things. And I'm not talking about like it being able to have a chat GPT level conversation with me or anything, but like I would like to be able to walk into a room and without having to prompt it for the wake word, it know that I'm asking for the lights to be turned on just by saying lights, you know,
because it was something that happened very often in Next Generation, where Picard would say computer and he would ask for something,
Mm-hmm.
and he would then take a break in the conversation or the information that he received from the computer, talk to another character, and then go back to the computer and say something else. And the computer intuitively knew,
Yeah.
oh, he's talking to me specifically. Okay, cool. And the AI and all that other stuff that was involved in that.
Well, and what's really interesting, if you watch any of the shows, the computer's prompt level
Mhm.
is not anywhere near the prompt level that we have for those of you who've tried out any type of chat GPT-esque voice assistant,
Mhm.
like having a conversation with it. The computer was very dry, and if you look at it now, and I'm sure probably in another 10 or so years, we'd look back at something like that and be like, wow, their computer sucked. But we're already past that. I'm honestly surprised that none of the major companies that have those devices haven't looked into, like, hey, this is kind of the way naturally, because again, Gene Roddenberry's like, hey, I want them to walk in and it to know what they're talking about. You
Right.
know, if I say, lights when I walk in the room, what else could I mean other than lights? And maybe, in the back end, something that we didn't see is maybe they had a preset, hey, computer, when I walk in and say lights, I want you to set the lights to 60%,
Right.
and this light, that light, and this light, that you could customize. And so you just walk in and it does that without having to issue the wake word. I think maybe some of the wake word pause is that people, are a little leery about it listening to everything that you say, but it already does that. So,
Yep, because it's waiting for you to say the wake word.
yep. And sometimes you don't even say the wake word and it's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. And you're like, wait, what were you listening to?
Do you remember a few years ago, there was a mass influx of doll houses that were ordered to people's homes?
Mm-hmm.
In case you didn't hear about this, so there was a report, I believe it was in New York, where when these devices first came online, okay, and the reporter, the person reporting, the reporter, mentioned that this child, it's really great for, putting grocery lists together and all this other stuff. And this child really wanted a dollhouse and said, device, order me this dollhouse. Now, live on national television, all of these specific devices, and I'm doing my best not to say the name of the device, starts with an A, because I don't want to wake yours up. But all the devices that heard the story, like, woke up and ordered, like, they just followed the command. So there were all these specific dollhouses that all got ordered to these people's homes. They're like, wait, what? It's
Why
like,
do I have a
yeah,
dollhouse?
yeah, your credit card information is there. Like,
that's some more of the intuition that I'd like to see.
Right.
I'd like to see those devices be able to ascertain that, hey, this specific name is being said in a conversation, not as a command.
right.
And it just, there's some more stuff like, obviously Amazon specifically, and even Google specifically, are kind of behind in the way that they've integrated AI to that. But you got to think, I don't think it's because of lack of talent. I think it's lack of processing power, because if you open, excuse me, as part of the subscription to either of those services, a, assistant level AI type scenario, the amount of required processing power is ridiculous. So I think that's because there's supposed to be a plus version for the Amazon one that's coming out, that's included in the subscription. Now you need a certain generation device or newer.
Okay.
And I think there's one coming for the Google as well, for whatever theirs is called.
The home.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say those words too close together.
Got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But anyway, it's there's also a lot missing too. Like if if I issue a command and it doesn't quite match the exact pattern that is required for the device that I'm calling, like if I say, hey, turn on living room fan, it's going to get it, but if I mix the words up a little bit, it needs to be a little more intuitive. And then the one big thing that for me is incredibly missing, and I know that Home Assistant is an option for this, and there's integrations and stuff that you can do if you're what I like to call a super nerd, is offline mode. Meaning that if my internet connection is down currently,
Right.
I cannot turn my fan on or off, my light on or off. I
Right.
can't change the color of the light. I can't add anything to a list and let it just sit there and know that when it comes back online, it'll add it to the cloud list, But that's really for folks stepping out into making their home a whole smart home with smart bulbs and fans and this, and there's even shades, like window shades, and that open and close and all that, like all kinds of super cool
Those
stuff.
are really cool.
But if the internet goes down for any reason, you're now in device jail, because if it's on when the internet goes out, it's going to stay on unless you have a physical switch to turn it off with. You can't make any changes to it. Now, some of the new devices that are coming out have more manual means of doing it. But like, for instance, my, living room fan, it is just a straight wired smart device on the back of the fan that can only be controlled by the smart home device. Now, I could, pull the little chains out that from the fan and do it old school wise, but like, it's really debilitating. And I think that there really needs to be some offline help. It would impress me and probably make me switch to one or the other, whoever came out with some local offline device control. Like, hey, I see what your device is. It's a smart bulb. It's on or off. Okay. So you're offline. I know that if you issue this command, I can turn it on or off.
So in addition to being linked via internet, which is how smart homes are wired, Bluetooth. So that way it's just a matter of it's proximity.
Yeah, but so here's the thing. When your internet connection goes down, your router is still up. Like, now, mind you, if your router dies, it is what it is. You've lost all control over anything on the network because the network's not there anymore. But when your internet goes down, your router is still online. So your devices inside the home can still communicate with each other. It's just when I issue a command to the A device, it goes, okay, what's this command? What does that command interface with? And it's doing all this outside of my network.
Right.
Now I need to go back and hit this device on the internal network that's at this IP address and issue it this command. So when it's offline, that lifeline that it has, that cloud command, whatever they call it internally, is not there. So it just says, hey, I can't do that. I'm offline right now. So there needs to be, considering the cost effectiveness of local storage and local processing, which I know these companies are like just chomping at the bit to get more local processing in devices so that they can have better AI related stuff. But with the cost effectiveness of that, even if the device cost an extra $25, $30,
right,
I would take it if you had enough intelligence in that device to say, okay, there are 40 smart home devices in here, and here are all their functions. Here are all these smart home devices' IP addresses. If the internet goes down, I know how to respond to these basic commands and turn these things on and off.
Right.
That is a giant missing piece that right now can only be solved 100% by the use of homebrew community developed solutions like Home Assistant. And like I said, you can spin up a local Home Assistant server on a really crappy old computer. It doesn't have to have a lot of horsepower, and it will do all of that for you. It has all of its stuff, and it can even interface with your smart home devices like the G1 and the A1, and do all that stuff for you while you're offline, and actually add more functionality to most of your smart home stuff. But I would think by now that one of these companies would have caught on and been like, oh, okay, well, why don't we just make one of these devices that does the little, like the Echo or whatever, it does the same functions as smart speaker, but it's a little mini computer, more powerful than they are mini computers, but more
Right.
powerful than the one that's currently in it. It's a little more expensive, but it offers you all of this offline mode stuff and the ability to have the cool dashboards on your phone. I mean, people are taking things like Home Assistant and they're automating everything in their house, every light, every switch, the thermostat.
Drives me nuts.
But it's super cool. And they'll take a tablet, an old Android tablet or an old iPad or something like that, and they'll put it in like a frame in their hallway, like near where you'd have your thermostat. And it's the stats of everything in the house. And they've done really neat things like, hey, they put an airflow sensor in the cold air return of their HVAC system, and they measure the airflow pressure. And when the airflow pressure starts getting lower and lower and lower, hey, you need to change your filter. Like up to now, right? It's like, hey, I need to do that like every 6 months. And if you're smart, you throw a reminder on your phone or on your Google Calendar or whatever. Right. And it pops up and say, hey, you need to change your filter. It's, 16 by 20 by 1. Oh, okay, cool. I'll go buy one of those and change it.
Or have one ordered to your house.
Right. and see, that's one of the benefits, I think, because, they're always listening and they're always looking for advertising data to you. But if I could say, okay, hey, take this little Bluetooth low energy device and you're going to double-sided sticky tape it to the grill of your cold air return. And it's going to measure the airflow speed. What I want you to do is I want you to go change your filter right now. Change your filter before you stick this thing on there. Stick it on there, let your HVAC system run. The first time that it runs, it's going to say, okay, this is what the airspeed's supposed to be.
This is our benchmark.
This is it. This is brand new filter, unrestricted airspeed. And then as that gets lower and lower and lower, you just use what's, the national HVAC code say about, airflow on a cold air return or whatever. And hey, I've noticed that you're 50% less than where you are before. It's time to change your air filter.
Yeah.
And here's a link for it, or I can add it to your A cart or whatever,
That'd be cool.
People are doing that with Home Assistant. People are putting like garage door tilt sensors. Hey, the garage door's open, the garage door's closed. Hey, like basically little devices that are Bluetooth low energy or Z-Wave or Zigbee or whatever, that tell them a lot more information about their house than any of these things can do. There's so many sensors, temperature and humidity sensors. I've seen projects where guys have gone out and put dampers, like powered dampers in some of their vents, because you don't want to, like, contrary to popular belief, if you're not going to be in a room for a while, you don't necessarily want to cut the vent all the way off.
Right.
Number one, you're going to have higher humidity in that room, which can lead to mold and growth and stuff like that. Number two, you're now unbalancing your HVAC system, which was designed for the amount of rooms that you had. But what you can do is cut the flow down to a specific room, or cut the flow down to a couple rooms that, like, hey, this room right now is 72 degrees. Your set point is 75. And the main living room out there is 78. We need to redirect more to the main living room than we do to these two little bedrooms over here that are already plenty cooled off, way below your set point,
Right.
Kind of a system. And those systems you see in kind of commercial, like, they'll have like averaging sensors or sensors in each room, and they'll duct off things, depending on what the temperature is. Lots of efficiency things and lots of routines that can be set with smart home devices, like, hey, turn this light on at 8 p.m. every night, or step it up like it's a dimmable bulb. Start at 6 p.m. and by the time it gets to 8 p.m. it's full intensity. So I'm not wasting all of that energy, but it's full intensity at 8 p.m. Like sensors, and it's nuts the amount of stuff that you can do.
Dimmable bulb.
Dimmable bulb.
Dimmable bulb.
What?
No, that was cool. It was just
the
way it sounded. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
but I was thinking, like, I wonder if on the Enterprise, taking it back to that, if this is what life support was all about. Like, that was a portion of the life support system.
Oh yeah, because you got to think. So in the operations position, like on the bridge, you've got an officer that sits at ops, And you think, oh, what does the ops guy do? Well, not only is there a lot of coordinating and stuff going on with like, oh, the captain's asking for, this to be done or that to be done, but like the ship has but weapons and other systems also use a lot of power. So you can't have every system on in the ship
The
all at once.
holodeck.
Right. So like up
has its
until
own battery.
Yeah, up until
supply.
TNG,
Yeah.
it didn't.
Right.
Previous holodecks ran off the ship's system. So if you're in the middle of eating a bowl of spaghetti on the holodeck and the captain needs full phasers, you might just get cut off. And it's just sucks to suck. But so that's part of the operation officer's duty is like, hey, not only am I redirecting power to different things, and you can see it in some of the Star Trek games if you play that position. Not only am I redirecting power, but I might have to redirect person. Oversee operations, while the weapons officer is just like, hey, I expect it to be there. When the captain tells me to fire, I should have power to my phasers because you know that it's happening. I should have power to my photon torpedo launchers. When the science officer needs to use the deflector dish to do some sort of weird, tachyon beam or some crazy crap, like you heard the captain. Why do I not have power to the deflector systems? When the captain's like, oh, we got to, maximum warp. Okay, well, I got to make sure the power is directed to the engines from every other system that doesn't need full power. And I also have to keep the vital systems online too at all costs. So like there's a bunch of provisioning there that's still being done by human hands, which is also very interesting to me because you would think in the 24th century, the way that we want to automate things now in this century, like, wouldn't you use a little AI processing to be like, oh, the captain just said to do this, that, and the other. That means that we don't need, all this power driven to stellar cartography. Let's take it from there, give it to the shields, but it's a very human position there.
Yeah. And humans are still overseeing what it is that's happening just in systems.
So technically, if you have a bad op,
kill everybody on the ship.
Yeah, pretty much. Because if
it'd be awful.
It would be awful.
It'd be awful.
Or if you were slow, like, I mean, that's or a bad helmsman. Like you got to be a good helmsman. I mean, especially if you're trying to maneuver this giant ship, like, all of those individual positions. And maybe that's something that they've realized in the future. Like, yeah, we can have the computer do a lot of things, but there is still value in a person making that decision. Because one of the things that you're going to get out of artificial intelligence is the most logical and probability high type of decision.
Right.
There's no human gut instinct. There's prediction of what might happen next, but not to the level that you would get from one of us. Like
the intuition.
Right. You're on
the
you're on the bridge of the ship and the captain has just asked for, full power to the phasers and that, the captain's probably going to, because of the situation, going to ask for a tractor beam or full spread of torpedoes. I intuition wise, having served with this captain, would get people. I need personnel in the torpedo launchers to get these torpedoes loaded, or, hey, I need to start allocating some power to the tractor beam because of the type of situation that we're in. Those are not decisions that we're seeing made accurately with AI yet. So to turn that over to a computer,
I don't really trust it.
Right. I mean, it's just like you won't see that. You'll see some decisions probably being made on current like military vessels, but you're not going to get completely rid of the human factor just because there's that missed intuition,
Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap this up real quick. So I'm a DS9 guy. You're a Voyager guy.
Yep. I love Voyager.
Favorite episode
of Voyager? Timeless.
Ooh.
Yep. That was really good. Very well written. Very well done.
Ooh. For me, it's Into the Pale Moonlight.
Mm-hmm. That's a great episode.
Captain Cisco,
Mm-hmm.
Captain's Log, Star date, I don't even know. It's been a long week. Like, that's how it starts. And it's like, oh!
I think my second favorite of Voyager would be The Haunting of Deck 12. So that's where they run into that life form in a nebula, and it infests the ship and needs to get back, but the nebula got destabilized, isn't there anymore. And basically it ends up with only Janeway on the ship, and it just shows you like these things have to be maintained. You've got a handful of days before stuff starts to degrade, and without a crew, this ain't running itself, and things will start falling apart, and it's just really neat. I like that kind of stuff.
Oh man, there's so much to Star Trek, and you know, people, oh, Star Wars is better. Star Wars is great science fantasy. Star Trek is great science fiction.
Star Wars has got a great storyline.
Yeah.
I think the reason that I lean towards Star Trek more is because the technology in Star Trek, albeit far-fetched, a lot of it, we've already seen come to fruition because it's based in actual science. Like there are whole teams of people that are like, wait a minute, this whole folding of space to travel faster than the speed of light without time dilation affecting the journey is a possibility. This whole transporter thing, while it's very far-fetched, we've already transported an atom from one side of the room to the other, like successfully. And so like that's the root of all, like cell phones, tablets, computers, high-end giant computers that can do trillions of operations per
subspace
second.
Communications, aka emails,
like
text messages,
all of these things that were like, when that first came out, you're like, oh, well, that's a hunk of crap. Like it's all based in like, oh, well, that could be a possibility in the future. And I'm not even talking about like the utopian society that they live in, because these guys don't get paid. They're out there and they get fed. They get to use the holodeck. They get to go on vacation.
Jellicoe
like
replicator rations.
Right. Oh. But like it's that's not even it. It's the technology and the exploration that I think is really cool. Star Wars has a great storyline, but you know, the use of the Force and like the Jedi part of it's kind of cool, and the battles with the lightsabers cool and everything, and the storyline, like I said, is really great. But the technology is just not rooted, and that's kind of what does it for me. Most other people are probably just into the story, and I'll give you that. It's a great story, but I look at Star Trek as like, hey, this is a roadmap of the cool things that we could be doing in the future. Maybe.
So when asked, oh, why Star Trek over Star Wars? And you can be a fan of both. Okay. Just understand, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're wrong.
Oh God.
But I've said it like this. Star Trek is, for me, if we took our collective heads out of our collective asses, we could get to a society where, yes, we're taking care of each other. Yes, we've reached even like nobody's starving. Mental health is like it's not saying it's not a thing. It's like, okay, people are taken care of. Nobody's hungry. Everybody's got a home.
People have a purpose.
Yeah, everyone lives for the purpose of, and it's not necessarily for society, but like they're living their purpose. Like engineers go into engineering on Star Trek because like they really find gadgets and gizmos and things like that cool, and the purpose is, oh, let me augment the system. All right, great. You know, command, it's not an ego trip. It's more like we just need people to step up into leadership. Okay, well, I'd like to lead an exploration to someplace. Okay, cool. Great. Science, man, I love science. I want to go explore and do science stuff. Like,
well, and what's cool about it is like you can tell by just the interactions, like they're still jerks.
Oh,
and
100%.
And there's still people who have issues, but you know, for the most part, those are weeded out. And I mean, it's just the human and other alien condition, but they figured out a way to like, hey, our purpose is we want to go explore and see what's out there.
Right.
Like, we've done that here on Earth, but like, we haven't even explored the entirety of the ocean, or some of the crazy things that we still keep discovering species of animal.
There's a megalodon, and you know what? there are oof. There are things that we don't need to explore at all. Let's just leave it where it is. Okay.
Right.
Let's not open that sarcophagus
Oh,
and release
no.
and release that 3,000-year-old disease,
Yeah.
that bacteria. Let's not go so far down. Like I saw a picture recently of a sperm whale eating a squid, and I was like, oh. But there's something out there that could eat the sperm whale. So like, let's not even bother with that. I'm going home. Like that's just
I look at our exploration, historically, I think that scientific research and exploration has been horribly underfunded. And it's in the name of the wars and the battles and stuff that we fight. And I've said it many times. I'm like, if there are aliens out there, unless they're bent on dominating the planet and stealing our resources,
they're probably just out there trying to explore like us.
They're probably out there trying to explore like us, and they probably avoid us because we really, in perspective, are a savage child race.
So I saw this really great meme. From about 2,000 years ago, aliens come to Earth and they see Jesus on the cross, and they're like, we need to get the hell out of here right now. Like, they did this to their own people. Like, we need to go.
No. Yeah, I mean, you just get back down to the root of everything. You can get as deep as you want to into politics and policy and everything. But like all of these wars that we fight are over who does the land belong to? Who's in charge? Whose religion is the best? Wars that we fight. If you look at, any country stepping up, it's because they're offended by something. Like that's all it is. At the end of the day, it's still a big game of who's offended, and they can't get over being offended. We can't agree on this resource or that resource or what, even though like as much as we talk about, oh, there's not enough of this and there's not enough of that, it's still always around. It may cost a little more or a little less.
We ain't run out of water yet.
No, but if we came together, and I'm not saying like one world government or anything like that, because that's probably a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
But if we came together and worked together, the things that we could do would just be mind blowing. It's nuts. And
if we took our collective heads out of our collective,
yeah, for lack of better words, yes. If we did that, we would achieve good things. And there have been records in the past of us doing that. I mean, when the internet was first being developed, it was developed so that universities could communicate with each other a lot more effectively.
Right.
And universities across the world would share things with each other. And, I know that every government has its government secrets because we want to make sure we can defend ourselves against this one and they don't know what we have and blah, blah, blah. Again, we waste how much of our resources on making sure that we're able to kill the other person if we have to. And it's insane. Like if some world-ending type of event were on the horizon, how unprepared would we be for trying to stop that world-ending event? Let's say an asteroid. They talk about 3i Atlas and all the weird stuff that it's doing and everything. Okay, well, how would we plan to deflect that from our planet effectively? You're worried about who owns this part of this land and whose religion is better, and I'm going to kill you if you don't believe in my religion and all this other stuff. Well, that's all well and good and everything.
And we want the credit for destroying the asteroid.
Right. Like,
so I'll sabotage what you've got going on so that I can get it first.
Yeah, It's insanity. It's
It
insanity.
is.
And it makes me, again, I've said it before. I'm the low paid individual in this conversation. Like, I am nobody. But I know when I sit down and I look at conflicts that are going on, that it's just a who's better than who's contest. And why you can't sit down and be like, listen, we don't care what you do over there. Don't be killing people and torturing people and human trafficking and trying to traffic drugs out to other countries and stuff. Better yourself. Like, but no, you're not going to force your religion on another country. You're not going to force your hate on another country. You need to stop with the whole holy war crap. Stop. Like, let's sit down and think about this. Think about what you're doing. You are willing to go to the death, and you're going to die because everybody else that doesn't believe what you believe is bigger.
Yeah.
So you're willing to wipe out the entirety of your civilization, and you know that your people aren't behind you. You know that your citizens...
It's literally just you.
Yeah, you know that your citizens are sitting back, and as much as you've tried to brainwash them, they don't believe your crap. They're just not saying anything because they know if they do, you'll kill them. So let's just take a step back and realize what you're doing is ridiculous. And if you became a global citizen and actually invested in what matters,
I like that.
Then perhaps you'd be better off than where you are. Or you just be an angry little gnome the entire time you're a ruler until somebody, eliminates you. And another regime comes in and does something different.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. Like, come on. Like, I'm a world leader. Cool. You're a jerk. You're an absolute jerk. Everybody thinks you're a jerk. All of your citizens think you're a jerk. Like, we see these things in North Korea where they've got the fake grocery store fronts. And then every once in a while, a tourist will go over and capture some footage of them telling, how they destroyed us in conflict and they were victorious here. And their propaganda around America is vile and evil and death to America. And all, like, bro, the only reason why you have your country cut off from the rest of the world and the internet is because you're afraid that your citizens will learn the truth. America's not perfect. No country's perfect.
As long as there's a human being in that place, it's no longer perfect.
But the control that you instill is to make sure that your people somewhat believe your rhetoric. And so that you can continue to oppress them and make idle threats to the rest of the world. Bro, ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody scared. So why don't you just come to your senses and do something better?
That really, I think we're going to end it on that. Just be better.
Just be better.
Be better, not bitter.
The good book that most of them completely turn away, the overarching message of that book that is said multiple times: love your neighbor. Be good. Be good. Be kind to each other. We're all on this spinning globe trying to stay alive. Be good. And the religion doesn't even say, hey, like, if other people don't believe your religion, kill them.
It doesn't.
It does not say that. Nowhere does it say that.
None of them do.
No.
But you do have those extremists who...
Well, you do have some extremists that do insist that the verbiage in their religion says that, hey, you can offer it to them. If they deny, then, tax the crap out of them. And then if they still deny that, then kill them. Like, basically, you will be this or else. And these folks get indoctrinated to the hateful things that they pick out of their religious texts. Like, this is what we should do, and this is how we should hate. Like, what gets me in the extremist religions is that there's an incredible difference from Christianity, and that is focus on the hate and the control and not on anything loving. unless it's profitable or works for you. Like, but mostly the hate. Like, I should go out and dedicate my life to smacking around the folks that don't believe what I believe, and no focus on love, no focus on peace, no focus on unity. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. You want to spend your entire life angry and aggravated. Like, you've been indoctrinated to be angry and aggravated your entire life. How is that a religion that I should believe in? Like, bro, you're never going to reach a point where everybody is in unison to believe that your hatefulness is the way to go.
And you know what, though? It's just the religious zealots, and every religion has them.
Well, of course.
Like, I remember in New York, you had the guy standing on the street corner with his bullhorn on his soapbox.
Yeah.
Fire and brimstone,
Mhm.
repent, he's coming, you're going to hell. And I'm like, bro,
That's
I'm
because,
sure there's a solid message there. You lost me.
But it's the same message over and over again, and it lacks a lot of meat and potatoes. We'll just put it that way. Because I heard long ago, one of my former bosses said something like, listen, you can only beat them with a stick so long before they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Or they just quit, and that goes so many different levels. Like, you can only beat somebody with a stick for so long before they're like, I'm just done. I just can't even take this anymore. So like, human nature, like scare tactics, like, I'm going to beat you, or I'm going to kill you, or if you don't do this, like, they're going to step in line for so long, but then people get tired of it, and they get together in some way, shape, or form, and they're just tired of your crap.
Extrinsic motivation.
Exactly. So, like, but the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says, like, hey, you should love each other, and you should step out to spread the gospel to folks.
Right.
But if they continue to reject you, then nowhere in the text is like, well, if they continue to reject you, then kill them. No, if they continue to reject you, then, tax them higher than you would anybody else. They continue to reject you, then banish them to nowhere land. Like, no, like, this is it. This is the gospel. This is the good news. I would like you to share in that good news. I would like you to see that it's not just a set of rules. I would like you to see and realize that everything written in this text is because God knows how we are, and God knows what we should and shouldn't do. We know a little bit of what we should and shouldn't do, but, like, hey, here's a text that pretty much guides you into what you should and shouldn't do. And and the reason why you become offended is because you know that if you go out and get drunk all the time, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's that conviction that really bothers people more than anything else.
But
the conviction is okay, though.
It is. And the thing about it is, it's like, hey, here are all these things that you should and shouldn't do. But if you've done those things that you shouldn't do, I still don't hate you.
Right.
Like, just stop. Don't do those things anymore. Repent for them, and you're good. Like, just know me. Like, it's all right here in this book. I'm not asking you to do Old Testament things like sacrifice lambs and
or
all
your first child.
Right. Like, none of that. I'm telling you, I died on a cross. He died on a cross for your sins. And, like, I just want you to be a good person. That's the overarching theme, is just be a good person. Stop being so mad. Like, I get it. Life is tough and things are crazy, but don't take that out on people. Don't take that out on other people, and resolve your issues. And, like, gosh, man, even the biblical approach at resolving issues, like, it's like, hey, come to the person. They won't listen to you. Come to the person with another person. They still don't listen to you. Like, give them another chance. Like, we got to talk about this. Like, let's come to your senses. And if you find, like, if you follow that, you go to that person, they don't have ears to hear. If you bring another person, then they start thinking, oh crap, maybe it is me. like most of the time they're like, ooh,
That's usually how that goes. Yeah.
you know, and like you give them some time to digest it too. Like it just makes sense. And I find it very amusing that all of the major atheists that have gone out on a limb to disprove the Bible usually end up turning into Christians themselves. Like, it's scientifically accurate. It's historically documented. It's all there. You know, there's no reason to not to.
Right.
Other than your own pride. And what does your own pride matter? I mean, we're all little ants on a spinning globe. Like, is your pride going to be around in 1,000 years when nobody remembers your name? It's not. Nor is your wealth or your luxury vehicles or any of that stuff that you built up, because you're not JP Morgan. And I would venture to say that even if your name was JP Morgan, it won't be long and people won't remember that either.
Yeah, like the guys who built Washington Mutual Bank. Do you remember WAMU?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know none of the executive board.
No,
I know none of the founders.
No, all of these people have made huge names for themselves. Now, of course, like the things that are taught in history lessons, like Abe Lincoln, George Washington, all those like prominent characters. Yeah, you'll know those names, but like, what of that person do you actually know other than the prominent things that they did? Like, what kind of a man was George Washington? I don't know. Was he a nice guy? Was he a
He
jerk?
had wooden teeth. Cut down a cherry tree, apple
Yeah,
tree.
but you know, like,
those are the prominent things that we hear.
Right. You know, it's just for a lay person who doesn't, you know, I'm no biblical scholar, I'm no scientist, I'm just a guy trying to make it like everybody else. If you just stop and you read and you look and you investigate, the Bible makes sense. The Bible makes sense, and it's a historical document. And, you know, people make fun of how things are referred to. And, well, I mean, if you got to go back to those times and explain complex situations to people, you don't tell them that, you know, well, hey, you know, thermonuclear warheads, or like, because it doesn't exist. Like, you got to tell them what they understand at the time, you know.
Right.
There's it just makes sense. It does. And I think that if a lot of these folks, you know, and at the end of the day, I would love to see people converted to Christianity. 100% I would. But if you want to follow your own religious texts, that's fine. If people want to join, okay. If they don't, leave them alone. Leave them alone. You have your land. You don't need any. Leave other people alone. We are way beyond the time of, well, I'm going to go annex this country. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. No.
And yet we still have some world leaders who want to go do that.
Yeah. And they need to,
I don't get it.
They need to be removed from power. They need to be removed from power 100%, because that is just, it's not acceptable. We're not in the conquering phase where I'm going to go take over a neighboring country because, oh, I found out they've got big lithium deposits or some crap that I want to have. Oh, no, it's done.
Old press Latin.
No, it's very much done, and we're very much past that. And to move on, and as human beings, we got to stop being a savage child race.
And maybe the Vulcans will show up and be like, hey, we'll do first contact.
Maybe.
That was very impassioned. That was good.
That's the way I feel.
I'm with it. All right, folks. Let me see. We're looking at 8:39. Remember we said we were going to be?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching, whether it's the live broadcast or the replay. We hope you got something out of today's show. Thank you guys for just tuning in and hearing us out. You know, we've got a platform. We're going to use it. Thank you. We will see you guys next week, October. What is that? The 6th, I want to say. Yep, October 6th, 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern. Guy, this is the Your Favorite Guy podcast. You are awesome, amazing, and fantastic. Don't let anybody make you feel different. See you next week.
The Your Favorite Guy podcast is a proud member of the GCRX Radio Network. To feature your organization or business on the show, contact us on Facebook,